We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Yesterday we heard that Dharma in the form of bull asked Mother Earth in the form of cow why she is so depressed and with such complexion, and cow then was answering, and we heard Lakshmi Ji, the goddess of fortune, whose glance of grace was sought by demigods like Brahma, and for whom they surrendered many a day unto the personality of Godhead, gave up her own abode in the forest of lotus flowers and engaged herself in the service of the lotus feet of the Lord. I was endowed with specific powers to supersede the fortune of all the three planetary systems by being decorated with the impressions of the flag, thunderbolt, elephant driving rod, and lotus flower, which are signs of the lotus feet of the Lord. But at the end, when I felt I was so fortunate, the Lord left me. So this is the real difficulty. Yo vai mamati bharam asura vangsharhagyam akshauhi nishatam apanudat atmatantra tvam duhstam unapadam atmani paurushena sampadayan yadushu ramyam abhibrat angam. O personality of religion, I was greatly overburdened by the undue military phalanxes arranged by atheistic kings, and I was relieved by the grace of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, you were also in a distressed condition, weakened in your standing strength, and thus he, means Krishna, also incarnated by his internal energy in the family of the Yadus to relieve you. Ka va saheta viraham purushottamasya prema valoka ruchirasmita valgujalpe stairyam samanam aharan madhu maninanam manininam ramotsavo mama yat angri vitankitaya. Who therefore can tolerate the pangs of separation from that Supreme Personality of Godhead? He could conquer the gravity and passionate wrath of his sweethearts like Satyabhama by his sweet smile of love, pleasing glance, and hearty appeals. When he traversed my surface, I would be immersed in the dust of his lotus feet, and thus would be sumptuously covered with grass, which appeared like hairs standing on me out of pleasure. Here in commentary, when the Lord left the surface of the earth to return to his spiritual abode, the earth's feeling of separation were therefore more acute. Tayor evam kathayato prithivi dharmayostada parikshi namarajarshih praptah prachim saraswatim. While the earth and the personality of religion were thus engaged in conversation, the saintly King Parikshit reached the shore of the Saraswati river, which flowed towards the east. This is the end of this chapter. So the real problem was Mother Earth was feeling separation from Krishna, because Krishna is source of all bliss. When you lose that, then of course you are feeling separation. Chapter 17. Punishment and reward of Kali. Sutta Uvach. Tatra go mitunam raja hanyamanam anathavat danda hastam chavrishalam dadrishan ripa lanchanam. Sutta Goswami said, after reaching that place, Maharaj Parikshit observed that a lower caste Shudra, dressed like a king, was beating a cow and a bull with a club, as if they had no owner. So here in commentary, Sai Maharaj is telling, the principal sign of the age of Kali is that lower caste Shudras, that is to say, men without Brahminical culture and spiritual initiation, will be dressed like administrators or kings. And the principal business of such non-kshatriya rulers will be to kill the innocent animals, especially the cows and the bulls, who shall be unprotected by their masters, the bona fide Vaishyas, the mercantile community. But not only they are killing animals, they are killing people also and exploiting. Vrisham mrinala dhavalam mehantam iva bibhyatam vepamanam padaikena siddhantam shudra taritam. The bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. The bull standing on one leg indicates that the principles of religion are gradually diminishing. Even the fragmental existence of religious principles will be embarrassed by so many obstacles, as if in the trembling condition of falling down at any time. Gam chadharma dugham dinam brisham shudra padahatam vivatsam ashruvadanam kshamam yavasam ichatim. Although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by a Shudra. There were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. Papracharatam arudah kartas swara parichadam mega gambiraya vacha samaropita karmakah. Maharaj Parikshit, well equipped with arrows and bow and seated on a gold embossed chariot, spoke to him, means to the Shudra, with a deep voice sounding like thunder. Because Parikshit Maharaj is a Kshatriya king, so it is his duty to do this, to protect the citizens from miscreants. And this is surely a sin, to beat cow and bull. Not only crimes or sins, violence to humans, to animals also. Especially bull and cow. That is totally improper. Kas tvam macharane loke balat dhamsya balan bali naradevosi veshena natavat karmana dvija. Oh, who are you? You appear to be strong, and yet you dare kill, within my protection, those who are helpless. By your dress, you pose yourself to be a godly man, like king. But your deeds, but by your deeds you are opposing the principles of the twice-born Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas, they have to protect the citizens, not to exploit this. So they are pretending to be well-wishers, but they have sinister, that is evil, motive. That is why it is especially a great crime, sin, to kill women and children, because they are not strong as men. They are helpless, they need protection. So to kill such, or to kill animals improperly, that is great sin, and there will be reaction. Here, yes. Therefore, in the age of Kali, everyone is unhappy due to the maladministration of the state. They are allowing slaughterhouses and all sinful activities. They are encouraging, and they themselves doing secretly, cowardly. So this is the Kali Yuga. Yas tvam Krishna gate duram saha gandiva dhanvana shocyo shocyan rahasi praharan vadam arhasi. You rogue, do you dare beat an innocent cow because Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the carrier of the Gandiva bow, are out of sight? Since you are beating the innocent in a secluded place, you are considered a culprit and therefore deserve to be killed. Tvam va mrinala dhavala padair nyunach padacharan vrisharupena kim kaschit devonach parikhedayan. Then he, Maharaj Parikshit, asked the bull, "Oh, who are you? Are you a bull as white as a white lotus, or are you a demigod? You have lost 3 of your legs and are moving on only 1. Are you some demigod, causing us grief in the form of a bull?" In the commentary, at least up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit, no one could imagine the wretched conditions of the cow and the bull. Maharaj Parikshit therefore was astonished to see such a horrible scene. He inquired whether the bull was not a demigod, assuming such a wretched condition to indicate the future of the cow and the bull. They could not imagine such things. Like in Satya Yuga, they could not imagine that someone will speak lie. This is out of possibility. No one was speaking lie in Satya Yuga. But now in Kali Yuga, it is difficult to find someone is speaking the truth. All the time lying for some purpose. Very difficult to find truth. That is Kali Yuga. But in that time they could not imagine. Like they could not imagine someone would do violence to cow and bull. But now you have big industries to slaughter this. It's Kali Yuga. Najatu Kauravendranam Dordanda Pari Rambite Bhutale Nupapanti Asmin Vina te praninam shucha. Now, for the first time in a kingdom well protected by the arms of the kings of the Kuru dynasty, I see you grieving with tears in your eyes. Up till now, no one on earth has ever shed tears because of royal negligence. They were always very careful to take care of the citizens, so no one had any tears. But now we have to cry because of royal activities of the royals. We have to cry because of them, what they are doing. It is beyond imagination, but unfortunately it is true. Ma saurabhe yatra shucho vyetu te vrishaladbhayam marodir amba badram te kalanam mai shastari. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-class Shudra. And, O mother cow, as long as I am living, as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. Yasya rashtre prajah sarvas trasyante sadvya sadubhi tasya matasya nashyanti kirtir ayurbhago gati esha ragyam paro dharmo hyartanam arti nigraha ata enam vadishyami bhuta druham asatamam. O chaste one, the king's good name, duration of life, and good rebirth vanish when all kinds of living beings are terrified by miscreants in his kingdom. It is certainly the prime duty of the king to subdue first the sufferings of those who suffer. Therefore, I must kill this most wretched man because he is violent against other living beings. This is yes, proper for Kshatriya. Ko vrishchat tava padam strin saurabhyeya chatushpada ma bhuvam stvadrisharashtre ragyam krishnanu vartinam. He, means Maharaj Parikit, repeatedly addressed and questioned the bull thus. Now this is very important point will come now. O son of Surabhi, who has cut off your 3 legs? In the state of the kings who are obedient to the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, there is no one as unhappy as you. Akyahi vrisha badram vah sadhunam akrita gasam atma vairupya kartaram parthanam kirti dushanam. O bull, you are offenseless and thoroughly honest. Therefore, I wish all good to you. Please tell me, the perpetrator of these mutilations, which blackmail the reputation of the sons of Pritha. Jane nagasyagham yunjan sarvatosya chamad bhayam sadhunam badaram evasyat asadu damane krite. Whoever causes offenseless living beings to suffer must fear me anywhere and everywhere in the world. By curbing dishonest miscreants, one automatically benefits the offenseless. Anagah sviha bhuteshu ya agaskrin nirankushah ahar tasmi bhujam shakshat amartyasyapi sangadam. An upstart living being who commits offenses by torturing those who are offenseless shall be directly uprooted by me, even though he be a denizen of heaven with armor and decorations. So that is a real kshatriya, but false administrator, shudra or demon in the garb, they will torture other people for or kill them for their own people, for their own pocket. Ragyo hi paramo dharma swadharma stanupalanam shasato nyan yata shastram anapadyut patham iha. The supreme duty of the ruling king is to give all protection to law-abiding persons and to chastise those who stray from the ordinances of the scriptures in ordinary times when there is no emergency. If there is some emergency, then sometimes it is difficult to follow. But if there is no emergency, then everyone has to follow Shastra, means Varna, Ashram, and Dharma, his prescribed duties, because they are for the welfare of all, and he should avoid all kinds of sinful activities. So those who deviate and do sinful activities, they have to be punished for the good of others and for their good also, so that they may be rectified of their wrongdoings, because it is harming them and others, so they have to be rectified. So punishing them by a kshatriya who has right motive is actually compassion to him. Outwardly we may see punishing or killing or something, but it is actually for his good. Dharma uvach etadvah pandaveyanam yuktam arta bhayam vachah yesham guna ganaih krishno doutyado bhagavan krita. The personality of religion said, means the bull, these words just spoken by you befit a person of the Pandava dynasty, captivated by the devotional qualities of the Pandavas. Even Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, performed duties as a messenger. Krishna is subdued by his devotees, Bhakta Vatsala, and Aham Bhakta Paradino. Paradinata means he becomes subordinate, being controlled by their devotion. That is his beautiful quality. So, Maharaj Parikshit is from this family, so it befits that he is speaking in this way. He is doing his duty. Navayam klesha bijani yatah syuh purusharshaba purusham tam bijanimo vakya veda vimohita. O greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our sufferings, because we are bewildered by all the different opinions of theoretical philosophers. Who is to be blamed? Who is the miscreant? There are many theories, now he will say. Kechid vikalpa vasana, ahur atmana, devam anye pare karma, swabhavam apare prabhum. Some of the philosophers who deny all sorts of duality declare that one's own self is responsible for his personal happiness and distress. That is those who think they are independent doers. No one is there to give fruits, and they think that I'm God. So everything depends on me. Others say that superhuman powers are responsible, while yet others say that activity is responsible. And the gross materialists maintain that nature is the ultimate cause. Apratarkyat anirdeshyat iti keshu api nishchaya atranu rupam rajarshe vimrisha swamanishaya. There are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation, nor know it by imagination, nor express it by words. O sage amongst kings, judge for yourself by thinking over all this with your own intelligence. I will read so that it is more easy to understand. The previous commentary I will read. As referred to above, philosophers like Jaimini, he wrote Purvamimamsa, it is Karma Kant. Then Uttaramimamsa comes Vedanta Sutra of Vyasadeva as a reply to that. And the ultimate goal is Brahman, means liberation. But Jaimini and his followers established that fruitive activity is the root cause of all distress and happiness, and that even if there is a superior authority, some superhuman powerful god or gods, he or they are also under the influence of fruitive activity because they reward result according to one's action. This is in Vedanta Sutra, is in detail explained. They think that he is not the giver of fruit, but action. There are so many arguments and counter arguments based on Shastra. It is proved that he is giver of fruits. They say that action is not independent because action is performed by some performer. Therefore, the performer himself is the cause of his own happiness or distress. They think karma is ultimate, topmost. That God even is under karma activity, and the one who does activity is root cause of everything, of all results. But that is not correct. In the Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that by one's mind, freed from material affection, one can deliver himself from the sufferings of material pangs. So one should not entangle oneself in matter by the mind's material affections. Thus, one's own mind is one's friend or enemy in one's material happiness and distress. Mind is friend and also enemy. Prahlad Maharaj, when Hiranyakashipu threatened him, he said, why you are not afraid of me? Everyone is afraid of me. Then Prahlad Maharaj understood what is his vision, this friend and enemy. So he told there is no enemy except our uncontrolled mind. When our mind is not under our control, then we have improper vision of these friends and foes. But when the mind is subdued, when we submit to Krishna, by His grace it is possible only, then one has proper vision. All are related to Krishna. There is no enemy, no friend. All are relatives in relation to Krishna. So one is not having such enviousness and this malice to others. There is no other enemy. This is our enemy, uncontrolled mind. But here also, the Jnanis, they think they can subdue mind exclusively by their own austerity. But that is also not correct. It can happen by the grace of Krishna when you submit to Him. They may get up to a certain point, but because they think I got it by my own austerity and they neglect Supreme Lord, they have no belief, they think I am independent, I am supreme, then because of that offense, they again fall under the influence of Maya. Then further, atheistic, materialistic Shankyaites, Shankya philosophers, that is, I forgot the name. Yes, that atheistic Kapila. One is Kapil Bhagavan, son of Devahuti. He is theistic, but there is another one, Kapila, atheistic. He does not admit Supreme Lord. He only admits 25 elements, 24 material elements, and 25th is Jiva. There is no Supreme Lord. But he is also having wrong conception about Jiva and Prakriti. This also you will find in Vedanta Sutra. It is very nicely refuted about he's not thinking in the same way as Vaishnavas about Jiva and Prakriti. He thinks Prakriti is the cause doing everything in proximity of Jiva, and so many speculative these ideas. So Vyasadeva in Vedanta Sutra, he's refuting that based on Shastra and reasoning which follows Shastra to prove that is not correct philosophy. Shankyaites conclude that material nature is the cause of all causes, yes, Prakriti, but in a very strange way. If Vaishnava hears how they are explaining, he sees that that is not correct. And it is also confusing and contradictory in their philosophy. According to them, combinations of material elements are the causes of material happiness and distress, and disintegration of matter is the cause of freedom from all material pangs. Gautama and Kanada find that atomic combination is the cause of everything. This also in Vedanta Sutra you will find refutation. Kannada's atomic theory and Gautama that logic, Nyaya, he is refuting, and also Buddhists and Jains and Pashupatis. And Pashupatis, they're worshippers of Shiva or other demigods, but in improper way. This all opposing philosophies he is refuting by Shastra, by Upanishad. It's very nice because these philosophies, they're always existing. When we don't know the truth, when not accepting Shastra, not having realization of the truth, then our mind will have such ideas which are in this way. So even if you say, no, I am not Buddhist, I am not Shankaites like this, but we have such ideas inside, atheistic ideas, because based on sense perception and mental speculation, we come to certain philosophy conclusion, but that has to be removed to know the actual truth how it is. So if someone hears Shastra, but Shastra will, like in Vedanta Sutra, he will say what is wrong and what is right. Both you have to see. And they are giving many arguments why that is right, giving many logic and all these things. And one, if someone is not accepting Shastra, no Sukriti, surely he will accept those reasonings based on sense perception and mental speculation. It will be very he will be able to approve of that. So Vyasadeva very expertly, because he can see in the mind of in the atheistic mind what kind of ideas they are there, and he's refuting based on Shastra and logic which supports Shastra. Then you become fixed in that understanding. Then you will be inspired to worship Krishna. That is the whole point, because all other philosophies, they are making us inclined to enjoy this world, and then we have to get suffering. But the purpose of all Shastra is Atmeva Upasita. You have to worship supremely. That is the conclusion of all Shastra. But you have to be convinced why this is proper. So they are giving the all reasons and also qualities to attract us to Supreme Lord and so many things. That is the purpose of Shastra. Because now we are not in Raganuga. Raganuga devotees, their devotion is also called by Jiva Goswami Ruchi Bhakti. When you have natural taste for worshipping Krishna, by hearing about him or seeing his Krishna Lila, then you feel natural desire to serve like the Brajavasis, and you are getting transcendental taste in that. That is a real stimulus for you to serve Krishna. But if this is not present, then you have to follow Shastra, reasoning and all these things to make us inclined to serve Krishna. We have to hear from real devotees and from Shastra. Their purpose is to make us inclined to serve Krishna. In different ways they are doing this, and also by speaking about this world, how it is full of suffering, to make us detached from those pursuits, because one can attain Supreme Lord by two causes. One is one has to have thirst for him, desire for him, and disgust with other things. Then he will do. So Shastra is explaining in this way to make us inclined. And when, by following Shastra, you will serve Krishna, then when you will purify your heart of all anarthas and all these things, then Raganuga also will appear after getting taste. But before that, to imitate and to have some material emotions, thinking they are transcendental, that is Sahajaism. And it cannot last long. And it will not release you from this world of sense enjoyment, and you cannot be free from anarthas. Because that is imaginary and material something. It is unauthorized. First you have to be fixed. If someone, by the association of real Brajavasi who has strong love for Krishna, if someone gets that greed, which is transcendental greed to attain that sort of service, then he can do. But if this greed is not present in someone's heart, then he cannot do like that. That will be only imagination and some material desires to be fulfilled through that so-called Raganuga, but it is not correct. So one has to first follow the Shastra. That is general. That is very exceptional case, and in past life he did that. Suddenly, by the grace of Brajavasi, he may have that sort of greed, but that is very rare. Generally, one has to be encouraged by Shastra and reasoning which follows Shastra and bona fide devotee to make us inclined and give up all other desires. So here, Gautama and Kanada find that atomic combination is the cause of everything, and Buddhists also, they are similarly thinking. There in Vedanta Sutra you will find. And impersonalists like Ashtavakra discover that the spiritual effulgence of Brahman is the cause of all causes. So all these have mistaken idea about what is the ultimate cause and accordingly what should be our activity. All is wrong. So Vyasadeva then refutes all and establishes that Brahman means, in this case, it means Supreme Lord, is the cause of everything, and he has such and such qualities, so as to make us inclined to worship him. But in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord himself declares that he is the source of impersonal Brahman, and therefore that is Brahmano hi pratishtaham. And therefore, he, the personality of Godhead, is the ultimate cause of all causes. It is also confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that Lord Krishna is the ultimate cause of all causes. When you can understand that, feel that, your heart will approve, then you will worship him naturally. So that is the whole purpose of Shastra. And the whole purpose of Maya, all this mental speculation idea and sense perceptions idea, is to make us enjoy Maya. So that is not good. Then next commentary to that next verse was, so Bull did not want to say this is the perpetrator, because there are so many theories. So you think yourself, with your own intelligence. So, in order to more easily understand, I'm reading. The Vaishnavites, the devotees of the Lord, do believe, as above explained, that nothing can take place without the sanction of the Supreme Lord. He is the Supreme Director, for he confirms in Bhagavad Gita that he, as all-pervading Paramatma, stays in everyone's heart and keeps vigilance over all actions and witnesses all activities. And he is also giving the fruits. The argument of the atheist that one cannot be punished for one's misdeeds unless proved before a qualified justice is refuted herein. For we accept the perpetual witness and constant companion of the living being. Perpetual means in previous lives also what you did, Krishna knows everything. We may escape these worldly courts, but we cannot escape that Krishna's eye. A living being may forget all that he might have done in his past or present life, but one must know that in the same tree of the material body, the individual soul and the super soul as Paramatma are sitting like two birds. One of them, this is also from Upanishads, Dva Suparna Sayuja, in different Upanishads, same verses there. One of them, the living being, is enjoying the fruits of the tree, whereas the Supreme Being is there to witness the activities. Therefore, the Paramatma feature, the Supreme Soul, is actually the witness of all activities of the living being, and only by his direction can the living being remember or forget what he might have done in the past. He is therefore both the all-pervading impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma in everyone's heart. He is the knower of all, past, present, and future, and nothing can be concealed from him. The devotees know this truth, and therefore they discharge their duties sincerely without being overly anxious for rewards, because they know Krishna is giving. No one can stop that. But in this world we are always anxious, if we are in ignorance, whether I will get that payment or whether this will happen or some obstacle will come or something. We are always very anxious because we think others are the causes, or at least co-causes. I'm doing action, but because of others I did not get that fruit. We are thinking in this way, but it is not correct. But devotees, they know Krishna is the giver. So why I should bother about others? Krishna will give as he likes. Besides that, one cannot estimate the Lord's reactions either by speculation or by scholarship. Why does he put some into difficulty and not others? He is the supreme knower of the Vedic knowledge, and thus he is the effectual Vedantist. This is also asked there in Vedanta Sutra. Why? He is the creator. Why some are suffering, some are enjoying? Why? He is partial and cruel. This doubt is there, but it is not like that. At the same time, he is the compiler of Vedanta. Vedanta means Upanishads, the conclusion of the Vedas. And then Vyasadeva, to make it clear, he wrote Vedanta Sutra, where he explained Upanishads. And SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is the explanation of Vedanta Sutra. No one is independent of him, means Krishna, and everyone is engaged in his service in different ways. In the conditioned state, such services are rendered by the living being under the force of material nature, whereas in the liberated state, the living being is held by the spiritual nature in the voluntary loving service of the Lord. Voluntary. There is no incongruity or inebriety in his actions. All are on the path of absolute truth. Bhishma Dev correctly estimated the inconceivable actions of the Lord. The conclusion, therefore, is that the sufferings of the representative of religion and the representative of the earth, as present before Maharaj Parikshit, were planned to prove that Maharaj Parikshit was the ideal executive head because he knew well how to give protection to the cows or the earth and the brahmanas or religious principles, the two pillars of spiritual advancement. Everyone is under the full control of the Lord. He is quite correct in his action when he desires something to be done by someone, irrespective of the consideration of the particular case. Maharaj Parikshit was thus put to test for his greatness. Now let us see how he solves it by his sagacious mind. But that we will hear either tomorrow, if there will be any more time, or on after Parikrama. Tomorrow is the disappearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Goswami Maharaj. Then on Wednesday, the Navadip Dham Parikrama starts, but we have to read those chapters before. In Navadip Dham Mahatmya introduction and those first chapters, so that on that Parikrama they will start with Antardip. So this point we will hear after Parikrama, after Gaur Purnima, when next opportunity will come. But it is very important to know this for blaming and seeing reality properly, not through the eyes of our senses and emotions and logic and speculation like this. No, we have to see the events through the eyes of Shastra, means through the eyes of truth. Then that will automatically make us peaceful. Otherwise, we will be always disturbed and always angry and fearful, and all these negative emotions will always be there. It is all due to wrong perception of the things. But someone who is a realized soul, or at least someone who tries to know and he thinks what Shastra says, then he can be peaceful in all circumstances. It is of course not easy, but we have to try. For this we got this human birth, to see the truth, to perceive the truth. That will liberate us from all negativity. So that we will hear at that time.